Hello and welcome to our next module. This is a very brief module that really just a quick overview of the basic requirements to be president. Okay, so really, who can be president? Natural born citizen, 35 years old, and lived in the United States for the last 14 years. I really just want to make a couple points about this. First of all, let's talk about the age for a second. The 35 years old really hasn't come into play. We've had one or two vice presidents that were 35, but as far as the presidents go, the youngest that was ever elected was Teddy Roosevelt at 42. The oldest elected was Reagan, second term, he was 73. But the one that I do want to point out, natural born citizen. There's been a lot of talk about this one in recent years. Uh, but a couple things about this. One is even a lot of people don't realize there are a lot of concerns about whether or not John McCain met that requirement. He was a Navy brat, was actually born in Panama, had to go through, he had to make sure he got vetted that he could actually run for president. But when it comes to this, there was a really good article a few years ago that referenced many scholars on this item. And they even talk about Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz, one parent was Canadian, one was Cuban. And they were saying that even though we had that requirement of natural born citizen, very ill defined, and that even in his case, if he had been elected, it wouldn't have been a big deal. He would have been president. So what these scholars were saying, I just like to point this out when we start the discussion about the executive, is that even though we see it in the Constitution, we've heard of it, it's not something that is really concrete and defined that prevents many people from being able to run for president. So again, these are the quick three requirements to be able to run for president. And with that, that's the end of this module.